Hey guys, this show is going to be a little different to what you're used to. When I was about 11 or 12, over 8 years ago, I watched a YouTuber called woodysgamertag, and he had a show called Mail Monday. And on Mail Monday, you would ask questions about life, about everything, things that I want to answer here. And it's something that always sat with me as a kid, and I've been rewatching it recently. So I wanted to make my own version of it because he doesn't make it anymore. So I hope you enjoy Spill the Tea with Udi and NatTea. Hi Toby and Nat, hope you're doing well. You probably don't know me too well, but I guess that's the point of this. I have deep bouts of depression after rejection as a result of being friend-zoned, being led on, fucked over, and ditched by someone I thought was a close friend, and having a girl cancel a date, only to cut ties with me to get with someone better than me in every single way.
I'm gonna stop them right there, okay? Firstly, comparing yourself to someone else, I would probably recommend doing that. I don't think they necessarily got with someone better than you in every way. They just got together with someone that's different to you. Would you agree?
I don't know. You can't say it's not right.
I just don't want someone to be like, oh, I'm so shit. Like, I'm not tall, I'm not handsome, I'm not smart, I'm not educated, I don't have the money, I don't have the full-time job. And it's like, he has all of these things and I have none of it. And it's just like, so what? The dude could be a total fucking trash bag. Doesn't make him better than you.
If the problem really is that this girl is able to find someone that's better than you in every single way and you have nothing unique about you that makes you stand out, this is a confidence thing. Maybe it's a confidence thing, or maybe he's right and this letter stops here and it's not about girls and it's about themselves, and it's like, why is there nothing good about yourself? Like, what the hell's going on here? I want to read more of it. The negative thinking is obviously terrible. Like, you're never gonna get better just being like, I suck at life.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I always have that crippling, lingering fear in the back of my mind. What if I'm not good enough? Will I ever be good enough? What is it that's wrong with me? Am I attractive enough? Most people describe me as attractive. I'm 6'5"-ish, but I struggle taking compliments. I'm someone who appears outgoing, wholesome, and kind. I feel like I have to maintain that image, that I'm someone anyone can go to for a chat whenever they need it. I really want to talk to people about my issues, and even though they say to go to talk to them whenever they need to, I feel like I'm bothering them and I hate putting my problems on others. I guess a lot of this negative sense of self comes from my struggles of relationships with girls, or lack thereof. This is complicated as fuck, so I apologize, but I'll explain the best I can. I've had crushes on 5 different people, all of which I have been friend-zoned by in the past. Currently, I have heavy feelings for someone we'll call E, the second girl I ever had a crush on. She's one of my closest friends and I have a crippling fear of being rejected again. People always tell me I'm only 17, 18 and I have the whole life ahead of me, but I can't help but feel she is the one person I would spend the rest of my life with. I'm often teased for being a simp by my friend groups. I have a boys' friend group and another friend group that E is a part of. I have even written what started out as a letter but developed more into an essay. Basically, I don't want to lose her because she's one of my closest friends, and she even said she never wants to lose contact with me. But at the same time, I don't know if I could simply leave it at just being friends with her. I don't know where to go with her as I fear rejection, but at the same time, I don't know if I can live my life without her in it. E has always been there for me. She backs me up, supports my dreams, and she thinks I'm way better at Rocket League than I really am. She also helped me a lot when I was dealing with my sexual harassment. This is something that has impacted me a lot, as this girl we'll call T has a big crush on me and she's friends in my group, but she touches me, slaps my ass, tries to kiss me, all without consent. It's something that makes me uncomfortable and scares me. I've gone to school about it, but they basically said that they'll keep an eye out on it and nothing ever happens, which is frustrating to me because if the roles were reversed, I'd be facing bad consequences. Very true, my friend. Luckily, COVID has meant I don't have to see her too much and it's died down, but it's something that made me feel like an object and frustrated me. One of my Macca's managers we'll call N also sexually harasses me, which is something ongoing and still unfolding, so I'll spare you from that. In essence, she inappropriately touches me, calls me names, and I was only 17, recently turned 18, and she is 20, almost 21. These are the questions I feel like I need answering. Feel free to answer these off instinct if you don't feel like reading the text above. Well, I did. Basically, what are your thoughts on my situation with E? Do I just risk my friendship with her for the chance to be more than friends? At the moment with her, we have been non-stop snapping for 3 months, talk every day, and I really enjoy her company. We are closer than ever, I really love her, and I can't see see my life without her in it. The next question, how do I cope with stress and sexual harassment? Also, do you guys have any tips for life after school? I don't really like my aforementioned friend group, most of which are girls, purely because of the immense drama, drug used in the past, etc, etc. I love my boys' friend group to death. They are the best. Always there for me, etc. I just want to leave school behind and move on to the rest of my life. School has been so stressful with COVID, and my HSC is scary and daunting at the best of times. So do you think it's worth spending time for myself after school to do something I'm passionate about and to do it for myself, such as esports or content creation for a year? Is it worth doing something like that in your opinion after finishing high school? I finished year 12 in 2 months. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate you and your streams. Much love and thanks in advance. Kind regards. And then I'm not going to say the name.
I'm going to say, I want to jump in first, right? The whole, we've been snapping for 3 months and talking every day. I'm going to say this. Bro, you could be snapping with someone every day for fucking 3 years. But it could be the most basic, shallow bullshit in the world that I don't think you should hold it to value the fact that you're snapping. I think if you say we have amazing conversations about, you know, X, Y, and Z, so you could say like family, school, friends, all that sort of stuff, like you feel that you can emotionally rely on her, that's when you can say it's worth risking the friendship, or you can say, yeah, this is definitely something that's worth taking the plunge. Because if you don't know how they're going to support you in bad times, is it worth taking that extra step? What if they've only ever been a really good surface level friend and they've always listened, but they've never really supported?
I think you're going real deep. You just turned 18, right? You're snapping a girl every single day for 3 months. When I was snapping a girl every single day for 3 months, we were talking, having deep, meaningful, emotional conversations. Then it's like so obvious, hit it, like go for it, try it out. If it's streaks,
yeah,
what you do, fuck no. But the thing is, even if you are streaks, there's still a reason you're streaks, okay? There is still a reason you are streaks. Friends could be a reason, but also it could be more than friends. And I say, take the shot. You're turning 18. School's about to end. You're finishing HSC. Uni's about to blow up your life and turn it upside down. You're going to get a job. Yeah. You're going to change everything. Go for it now, because the ship is sailing and you don't want to get left at the dock, all right? That's all I'm saying. Get on the ship.
I definitely hard agree with that. Like, the thing is, you are coming out of high school. You're going to make more friends. You're going to meet new people. So it fully is up to you. You can either take that as being like, oh, okay, we're going to meet new people. So like, if it fails, then I'm going to have other friends. I'm going to have other crushes. Or you can take it as like, okay, I'm going to meet new people. I want this person to stay as a friend. So maybe I'll have this crush on someone else later. Honestly, though, you're better off shooting your shot now. If you guys drift apart, it's probably going to happen to like 80% of your friends coming out of high school anyway.
Something important to take note of as well is, you said with COVID years and you're doing HSC. You're starting HSC. You also got to take that into account of what are your commitments? What are your aspirations? Because a girlfriend, especially starting a relationship, that's a lot of effort. You got to put so much time into that. I know when I was doing HSC, I was not maintaining a healthy relationship. I dated a girl for an entire year before I started my HSC. And for anyone who doesn't do HSC, if you're like global or something, it's your final year of high school before you go off to university. I massively struggled to maintain a healthy relationship when I was 18, finishing my high school certificate. I had really high aspirations for my future. So I studied really hard. Maybe you want to do something that's, I don't know, you don't need to study hard for in high school. Maybe you want to be an esports player, like you said. You should take those reflections and really think about it. Pretty damn important. I have nothing else to say, because there is no advice for someone in your position except for the fact that you will learn yourself. This is a lesson you will learn yourself.
100%.
You can't be told this, because I've been told this when I was in your position. You're going to learn, bro.
So I think we're both on the same page. Shoot the shot. But if it doesn't work out, don't be too disheartened, because you're going to meet new people, and it's, grand scheme, not going to be that be all or end all that you might think it is. The next question was how do I cope with stress and sexual harassment? And I feel like they are two very different ball games.
Yeah, stress, sexual harassment.
Yes, I wish I had advice for this. I think it's taking your friends up on that, when they say that you can talk to them or reach out to them and discuss whatever might be weighing you down. I think this is it, whether it be about the sexual harassment or if it be about the stress. I think sometimes there's a value in word dumping if your friends are able to listen to it. I've been going through a lot of stress the past 2 weeks, and this last week especially, I have been thought dumping or thought vomiting a lot on friends and some other people in my lives. And I'm thankful that they're able to handle it and that they want to listen to it and that they want to discuss it. But clearly your friends are saying it, and there's only one way to find out if they really do want to, and that's to do it, and it's going to make you feel a lot better.
I think also alongside Macca's sexual harassment thing, I don't know how deep that goes, but there's been mentions of like a lot of other ones. I don't know how this works from a girl perspective, but I know you are a 6'5" guy. Honestly, they could just be seeing you as this almost like a toy. They don't see you as this emotional human being, and they see that they can do this and play jokes. And you're a dude. You're stereotyped as, you know, you're 6'5".
Yes.
You're a big boy. Like, if they think about you getting sexually harassed, they're like, oh, this big guy, he'll brush it off. They don't know. There's a way you can deal with it. It's like either have the conversation, or maybe if they just go to do it, you just got to make it clear one day that that's not on. That girl from your Macca's manager or something, they go to say some shit, you shut that shit down. You got to be firm, hard. I don't know how it really works in your situation, but you got to be confident. Maybe you got to say, hey, I got to say something about this. If you keep doing this, you know, I'm not cool with it. I know this might be a joke to you, but it's not a joke to me.
100%. Shutting it down, like it's going to be an uncomfortable situation. It's going to be an uncomfortable thing to say, but you're going to have to do it. And then I think if you still feel quite burdened by it, having that chat to your friends, and then maybe if they're people that like, oh, they're not really listening, or you feel that they're just not really helping, then it's like going further and like talking to someone about working through that. But it definitely starts at you like having that uncomfortable confrontation. Do you think it's worth spending time for myself after school to do something I'm passionate about, do it for myself, such as esports content creation for a year? I really want to work in esports or even play professionally. Is it worth something like that in your opinion after finishing high school?
I want to leave the rest of my life behind when I leave school. Basically, you can and you will. As soon as you leave school, you can drop that shit. All my entire high school, I was built up with the expectations from my teachers, all my cohort, that I was going to be a doctor and a medical professional. I studied my ass off, got great grades. I was a nerd in my final 2 years of high school, even though I failed all the years prior because I didn't focus at all and I was a bad student. Anyways, I had that set up and people had that expectation of me, and I didn't really like it when I was leaving high school. Fine, it was great and people respected me for my high aspirations, but coming out of school I was like, I'm not too sure about this. I don't know about that. And I changed my life completely. I became a professional League of Legends player. I made content and I switched it up, and you can
take a year. I am such a big advocate for gap years. Holy fucking Jesus Christ, am I an advocate
big
for it? There are 2 reasons why. First, it will change you as a person in any way, no matter what you do. Obviously, with COVID, it's a little bit hard. You can't go traveling, but, you know, traveling, volunteering, working, even if you fucking do nothing, bro, it's gonna change you. And I can promise you, you will have a positive like aspect coming out of it, especially if you end up going into uni after. And this is my second point. People who don't take gap years end up going straight into uni, and a lot of them don't know why they study what they study. The number of people I met in my first year of engineering, I was like, oh, why are you doing it? And they're just like, oh, I didn't really know what else to do, so I'm doing engineering and business. And I'm like, the fuck? Rarely any of them made it to graduating, okay? And that's really tough. When you take that gap year, you have to make much more of a conscious effort to go back to uni and study, and you have to reassure yourself why you're doing it, because why the fuck would you not just take another year and just do exactly what you're doing again? The best investment you can make is in yourself.
I'd like to preface this to be confidential due to the type of topic at hand. With homophobia or whatnot, I'm not sure what anyone is like, but it's a bit nerve-wracking for me. Listen, I understand. Everything that I'll ever put out is confidential. So throughout my time at high school, I had known I was gay the whole time, but I wasn't prepared to come out till a while later. During my second year of high school, I got to know quite a few of the so-called boy groups, which was quite off-putting for me, as they would engage in acts such as grabbing each other in specific places and talking about themselves as if they were gay when they were straight. I was pretty confused at the time because I was always trying to figure out myself, and I developed a crush on one of these guys. This was the first time I had a crush on a guy, and it was also the same time that I started using a messenger online called Skype. So imagine a high schooler learning how to use the internet and typing online It was some of the cringiest sentences on the planet. Whilst talking to him once, he brought up crushes and was asking me if I had one on any girl. I had not come out at this time, which was pretty scary since he was, you know, my crush. He told me that he would tell me if I told him who mine was, so I did. What I didn't realize at the time was that he thought I meant platonically and went along with the conversation by telling me his crush. Now, he says, trigger warning to the next thing. I told him I felt like such an idiot and that I wanted to end myself because of how anxious I got from the situation. He tried to comfort me by saying he would sit next to me during school tomorrow. The next day, we sat next to each other during one of the classes and I felt anxious the whole time because of our conversation the night before. I told him again what I said the night before, but he still hadn't caught on to what I meant. So I whispered to him, and in brackets he said, this is the cringiest thing that I've ever imagined, but he whispered to him, I love you. I was met with a simple 2-word response. That's weird. And he turned around and started talking to his friends behind me. I froze at that point and didn't say a word until the bell went off to go to break time. I wandered throughout the grounds, not really thinking about where I was going, and I didn't really have any friends to hang out with. The next period came and I sat next to another guy in my class, so I asked him if he heard what I said, and he did. Turns out that guy told some of his friends and asked for advice in handling the situation and also informed a teacher of what I had said. At the time, I thought he was referring to the gay thing, but I'll get back to that. The person I sat next to said, I'm worried about all the bullying you're gonna get, which caused my heart to sink and a part of me died inside. At this point, I made the biggest mistake of my life, and I cringe at this at every time I think about it, but I told them it was a social experiment to see how they would react. From that point, they hated me for doing this for a long time, and looking back at it, I can see why. It wasn't for the whole 2 months when they were alright speaking to me again, as the water had settled, which was painful considering I didn't have anyone else to go to at the time. It was a year later in which I did properly come out, and at that time I hadn't really spoken much with the guy I liked since tension between us was high. He asked me a few days later if I really did like him, and at the time I didn't see a problem with saying yes. He laughed at the thought, which bugged me since he gave me such a rough time for my feelings before. The next 2 years I didn't speak much at all with him, but during my last year he started doing some suspicious things, like occasionally stroking my arm, pretending to choke me in front of his friends. I had also heard of occasions where he would kiss other guys at parties when he was drinking and whatnot. The weird thing now is that he has a girlfriend who's one of my closest friends for the past 2 years, and I feel uncomfortable with what he does since I know he is doing it as a joke or to make fun of me. It also turned out that he had told others in my class and the teacher because he thought I was going to hurt myself because of what I said near the end of our conversation. So now I'm unsure whether it's best to completely cut him out of my life since I'm not comfortable with what he does, especially since I'm close to his girlfriend. He tells me that we are friends, but I'm lost on what to do.
Okay, I'm going to say this, right? I do think it is fair to cut him out of your life, but if you cut him out of your life without telling him why or having a conversation with him about it, what are the odds he's going to do it to someone else? What are the odds that his actions continue? And it doesn't just impact you then, it impacts other people.
I'm not gonna lie. You could be a little bit selfish and say, who cares? Who cares if he does it to other people because he's not doing it to me? For
sure, right? I get that. And that's what I'm saying. I think they are well within their right and they should cut this person out. How they do it, though, is I think more of what's up for debate.
I thought you were going to go with it as you should talk to him because if you cut him out, maybe he interprets that the wrong way and then maybe something even worse happens. Maybe he says things about you to other people or...
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I have this viewpoint that if you're going to cut someone off and they go and talk bad about you to someone else and those other people believe it, that is on the other people. That is a reflection of them. Let's say you have mutuals or whatever. If they really were a true friend, a mutual friend, they would want to find out for themselves. They wouldn't just take one side's word for it. And if they're complete random people, who gives a fuck? They're randoms. What are they going to do for you?
When it comes to cutting that person off, I think it is good to cut this person off, but the way you do it in high school, I think is a bit different in later life. I think how we've talked about in the previous one, just don't interact. Don't be around. If it's possible, the more you can just distance yourself, the easier it is. You have opportunities to not be around these people. Maybe there are situations where you have to talk to them or be in groups in class, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? At the end of the day, you still don't have to be buddy-buddy. You don't have to talk about anything. You don't have to do anything crazy like that. Now, if they are making advances to talk to you or something, again, you might just need to make it clear, hey, I can't talk to you. And then maybe that sparks a conversation where you say, hey, this made me feel uncomfortable. And if this guy's dating one of your closest friends and you haven't described him as a total asshole, maybe that conversation can be good. He could be understanding. You just don't know it yet. It's pretty scary to see someone like that. And you can see someone as a really bad guy, but behind that, I guess, big bad things that they've done, they could also just be a kid that's 17, doesn't know what they're doing, and making big mistakes that they'll regret in the future.
I think it's just having that conversation. And if it goes to the point where like he's not listening, then that's definitely where like this distancing strategy comes in, and you kind of just survive it as best you can, because once you're out of high school, it's going to change. It's going to be good.
I think it's something actually good could come out of saying something.
I think so too.
I actually was reflecting today. I had a friend, I won't really say her name, but she was a girl who I was incredibly close friends with, but I said really rude things to her and really mean things to her. She made it clear to me that she was insecure about her boob size. So then I would use that as like a joke. But on reflection, like I was literally thinking about this today. I was like, fuck, I'm a dick, bro. It's just not something to joke about when someone makes it clear to you that it's insecurity. And as a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, I was probably around 16, 15 at the time. I was just thinking about it. I was like, fuck, I must have made this girl feel so bad. But she stayed my friend. She cared about me. She was nice to me. So I never realized that it was an issue. And I got lulled into this, you know, sense of security that this is okay. She just didn't want to say anything because I was her friend, you know, and she turned it into a joke, and it was self-deprecation, but it probably hurt her every time. But basically my point here with this is, you said he's pretty comfortable with kissing his homies. I've kissed my homies on the list before, but I'm pretty damn straight. I'm pretty damn sure. And I joke about being straight white and saying, but I say I'm gay. I may be this person in another life. And I'm going to tell you right now, if this person has any similarities to me, he could just be oblivious and being rude without even knowing it. Because I know if you told me at the age of 16 and you said, hey, this makes me feel uncomfortable, I would take a step back and be like, oh, fuck. Like I would have an oh fuck moment. I'm like, dude, I put myself in the shoes so much I didn't even know what to say to you. I imagine being that guy and I froze, and I'm not even this person. If it could be a situation like that, just say something to him and call him out, because it won't start a shitstorm. I think you're in a position where you are close enough and he dates your friend where something can be said and it can be solved
100%.
Appropriately.
Like it most likely isn't going to cause anything, but you just have to have that conversation. And if it does cause something, then you're clearly close enough friends with his girlfriend that you can talk to her about it and be like, do you feel that this is something that like you also see, and that maybe like, you know what I mean? Like maybe you can reason with the girlfriend. I wouldn't start with that because it's very easy for someone to feel ganged up on.
It's a lot easier for her to not see it and just be like, no, and then you just leave it. I think you should just talk about it straight up to him, because
I think you should start with that. I do.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, let's say he gets defensive over it and he's like, that's not what's happening or whatever. Then I would go to the girlfriend and I'd be like,
yes. That can diffuse it.
Even if she says no, gotta start looking for it.
Honestly, that's my interpretation of it all. There are only so many steps forward, and you got to take one until more steps emerge.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Spill the Tea. If you want me and Nat to answer your questions in the future, you can send it to the email on screen in the description. It's askudysof@gmail.com, and hopefully we get some questions from you guys, or hopefully your life's too good and you don't need to ask anything. See you next time.